coming at you live from DNHQ in beautiful South Pasadena, California. This is the Blue Heaven Podcast. My button's still all the way over there. I got to get used to that. What is going on, Dodgers Nation? My name is Clint. You can find me as Real FRG on the Twitter and Instagram. One of you guys go. That's Doug.
My name is Doug McKing. You can follow me at DMac_LA. And of course,
my name is Eric Eulau. You can follow me at
EEULAU. Go follow him, guys.
Nailed it.
Finally gets it. Guys, welcome to Blue Heaven. Cheers. And thank you to our friends at Jim Beam for getting us through the next hour of Dodger Talk with you guys. So on today's show, have a day, Dustin May. It's pretty good. We got to talk about him. Dodgers, in my mind, have won the Joey Gallo trade already. We got huge injury updates and roster talk. The difference a year makes for these Dodgers. We'll elaborate in a bit. A giveaway. We're going to have a giveaway update and more on the show today. So before we get into the show, we got to remind you this is a podcast. You can hear us on your ear holes. If you like a podcast, we are on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, everywhere your podcasts are available. We're there. Go listen to us. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/DodgersNationTV. Subscribe, hit the bell, leave a like, leave a comment. Doug will do a barrel roll.
I will.
Yeah. Right off the bat, guys, the somber news for us all. Mr. Eric Eulau has chosen to leave, go to greener pastures and get out of Dodgers Nation because, well, honestly, Doug just rubs him the wrong way. But
yeah, a lot of Doug beef. It's like Drake and I was gonna blue this. What was Drake's big rap beef? Help me out
Meek
here.
Mill.
Thank you, Meek Mill. I'm heading out.
No,
it's been a hell of a run. Loved working with you guys.
Yeah,
it's a great run. Huge opportunity. I will, very gracious of you guys to bring me in here into the fold, and a lot of good times here in these walls. So definitely miss you. I'll be chiming in with my zip code and all that fun stuff. But yeah, it's been a hell of a run. But we're gonna have fun. We got a couple more days here. Got a couple more shows.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna pack it all in here. But Boob Nightingale, a $10 super chat. Legally changed my name to Boob. Enjoy a third of a stadium beer on me. Thank you, Boob. Shout out to you,
Tim.
Yeah,
drop a hashtag Stay Eric down below in the comment section.
Yeah.
To me, Eric Eulau is the Sandy Koufax of Dodgers Nation, retiring too soon. Retiring at his peak, a .95 postseason ERA.
I wish I had that ERA.
A legend. You're going to be the youngest Hall of Famer in Dodgers Nation Hall of Fame. We're going to raise his banner to the Raptors. I think we should get patches that we should wear for the rest of the year. Guys, it's a dark day in Dodgers Nation, man.
Get an Eric one with the microphone.
Yeah, I love that one.
But yeah, we're gonna miss Eric around the office, around the studio, and BSing with him. But he had a good opportunity come up, and it's smart to go out and get a good opportunity while you can. Let's go ahead and jump into some of the comments, guys. Let us know where you guys are representing Dodgers Nation tonight. Leave a zip code. Let us know what your home address is. Let us know when you're not home, and we'll come by and visit you. We got a hashtag Stay Eric in here. A couple people, Francisco and Justin. A couple of hashtag Stay Erics. And by the way, I think we're having some camera technical difficulties. Apologies for that. I can't do anything, and our producer is out today. So we're going to have random flashes of green in there. Our friend Katie in the stream saying Eric's going to miss all the pistachios.
Those are great pistachios.
Those are
Too
great.
bad Doug ate them all. Joe Young says, can you find Doug beef at Vaughn's? I don't think you can. Ari Swerdlow, this is a straight Doug comment, and Eric Jewish. Shout out to that.
I've trained these guys well.
There's a great Office story that we can't really tell on the air, but it's pretty funny. Anyway, moving right along.
He'll charge that on his Substack.
Are we? Are you moving things along?
He's going to open a Substack and tell that story.
I don't want to take over the show. I just want to backpedal off the very odd corner I put myself in.
Yeah, you have a way of doing that. A whole bunch of people checking in there. I probably shouldn't have said zip codes and instead said, let us know where you're representing from. Felix, he got it right. He's got checking in from San Diego, home of the Fraud Rays. Ernie lives at Dodger Stadium. We got Alejandro checking in from Denver. We appreciate you guys. George Diaz on Facebook. The Gallo curse is real. Samuel asking, he's back in the chat because somebody was trying to get on our show a whole long time ago. Can I replace Eric? No. We're not going to replace Eric. There's no way we could replace Eric.
Give it like a month.
Irreplaceable.
He's not coachable.
I'm coachable. I'm teachable.
Dolphman did the best way. This is the best practice here, folks. He put the zip code and the city, 93436 Lompoc, home of Danny Duffy.
Oh.
That is factually correct.
AKA the Loch Ness Monster, AKA Bigfoot,
AKA Sasquatch.
AKA Sasquatch.
Never been seen. Chupacabra.
AKA PS5.
Leslie checking in.
I've heard they're great.
Eric.
Never seen one.
Eddie and Trisha checking in from Marietta. We got another San Diego in there. Huntington Park, South Central LA, Redlands, Juan checking in. Appreciate you guys. Angel, I love you. Eric.
Thanks, Angel.
Saying
I love you too.
all the words.
Feel so loved. Great comments, guys.
Yeah,
Really appreciate it.
You should quit more often.
Yeah. I really should.
So in like 8 months, are we going to expect you back?
I'm going to do the Brett Favre thing. I'm going to take like a month off and I'm like text you guys like, hey guys, I like still kind of got the itch. You know, is there a spot in the roster? Can I, boot out the rookie you just drafted? But
an important one in here, Eric Eulau. Mom checking in from the 805. That's why we're all having 805, I believe. No, Doug and I are having 805 in your honor.
I'm having a Firestone, which is brewed in the 805.
Maybe the Brett Favre.
Salute. Thanks, Mom. You're the best.
All right, guys. First things right off the bat, reactions to the Max Muncy contract extension news. What are the details? It's basically it equates to a 1 year kind of extension-ish.
It fully guarantees what was going to be the last year, and then it adds an option for the year after that.
Yeah, because next year there was like a $13 million, $13.5 million option.
That becomes fully guaranteed.
And then there's 10 and incentives now for 2024. Cool deal. Definitely admit, very out of nowhere, very out of the blue, especially when you consider he's been playing well for 22 days as of the time we're recording.
He's turned the corner.
I mean, I'd say
it is odd. It's the only weirder thing was the Blake Treinen deal. Go ahead, Doug.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you look at his month of August, a 222 WRC plus, 7 bombs, and 1185 OPS. His birthday is on Thursday, so a little early birthday present for Max Muncy. Yeah, like you said, what essentially does guarantees that $13.5 million, and then you could possibly get Max Muncy for a $10 million club option for 2024. We don't know the incentives yet, but if he reverts back to being the Max Muncy that we've seen throughout his career, where he's a 25, 30 homer guy, an on-base machine with the way he can get on base, to me, he's a top 35 hitter when he's right. That's a no-brainer deal, and to me, that's another feather in the cap for Andy Fleeceman. Andrew Friedman getting a player of his caliber, turning him into an all-star, and for all the teams out there, all the fans out there, oh, the Dodgers, they buy their team, they buy their success. Your team could have had Max Muncy and turned him into an all-star, but the Dodgers did. So I think it's a great move for Max Muncy. I do think it's a little interesting when, is it because... is it because of this run that he's on? I mean, what I feel there was a deal.
Awesome.
I feel there was a deal in place a while ago, but like a couple months ago, but probably at the same time as like the Austin Barnes deal. But it would have looked bad to offer a dude hitting 160 and just flatlining to offer him a contract extension or announce a contract extension. So now, 3 weeks later,
you know what day
he's
they
feeling
should have
good.
announced it? The day after the bomb off the White Sox after the Russa.
Yeah, that would be good.
Like, hey, we extended this guy. No, I think that's a great take. Like, this deal was probably, they didn't just sit down like, hey, before the Brewers game, August 22nd, Max, just come in a little early. Just come on down to Andy's office.
It was an early game on Sunday. They stayed afterwards, had beers. They went to Rocco's.
Yeah, crush 2 16-ounces, or you get 1 32-ounce, but they're the same price. Happy hour at Rocco's. That's a hack, kids.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
Oh, and look at that. You're throwing that hack away.
I know. Oh, that's not my last time at Rocco's.
Bet.
I'll be back.
Why the hell would you come back down here? Baseball.
Is it
I'd
me?
like
Play
to see
basketball?
you guys eventually before I leave this earth. But no, the Muncy deal. If he's 80% of what he was, that is an incredible. I mean, think about this. Your boy Bellinger's making $18 million a year. Granted, it's an arbitration, but you could get Muncy at $10 million. I mean, it's very reminiscent of Justin Turner the way they set up this deal. And I mean, I think it's great to that guy could very well go get a bigger bag somewhere else. But I think he knows he can maximize all of his value as a baseball player on the Dodgers.
Maximize. I like that.
Great take right here from ZYZZ on on YouTube. Max has heart, and that's invaluable to the clubhouse. This is a team, he talked about it over the weekend with Fabian Ardaya of The Athletic. He admittedly was not in a good mental place.
He had tears in his eyes early in the season.
No, that was Freddie. I know. Yeah.
I like that even better though.
Anyway, the team booted and rallied around him at his lowest point. They stuck with the kid, and he's now rewarding the people. He's now rewarding the haters like us, the different parts of the season where it's like, hey, I don't think at any point we had a strong stance of like, this guy needs to get out. But the numbers told you this guy's got to get out. But that's why you play 162 games. because something like this can happen.
Yeah, and I think it's a great show of faith by the organization for a player that they discovered, an 881 career OPS. And my favorite thing about Max Muncy is when he's on the on-deck circle up in San Francisco, Giants fans go crying for their mommies because he owns the Giants, so he'll get this money and all the money he gets for being the owner of the San Francisco Giants. But I think when you look at his ability as a hitter, the adjustment that he make, that little step back that would make James Harden proud, and he's just been out there just mashing. I mean, 7 home runs on the month. If you look at since 2018, he leads the Dodgers in games. He's third in WRC+. He leads the Dodgers with 134 home runs, 345 RBI, 15.9 F4. I mean, this guy, players have come and gone, but he's been a rock for this Dodgers team. And really, I think it was all health-related early on this season. I think he's a guy that had a lot of pride, knowing that they could not pick up his club option after this season, so he wanted to perform well. Well, now that he has a little bit of security, maybe if he does need that surgery, maybe he's more incentivized to get that. Now, hopefully he doesn't do that. And like I said, I mean, I'm just looking at, the way I look at it is, wait up, do we really have possibly a 34-year-old player that can hit you 25, 30 bombs, that can play multiple infield positions for $10 million? And I think it's a great move. And like you said, there's something about Max Muncy. He's got that toughness. You mentioned the maximum heart that he shows. And yeah, I think that it's been one of the great stories, his turnaround this season.
The Dodgers are a team that print money. It is a low-risk, high-reward deal for a club like this. And this isn't like they're throwing $8 million at a flyer like Tyler Anderson that worked out, or an Andrew Heaney. This is a proven commodity. This is a guy who's in some way, aside from Barnes, the next guy in line to be the captain type for this Dodgers clubhouse after Justin Turner is out of here. Like, he's the guy, he will eventually be the dude, the starting position player who leads this clubhouse. Even if Freddie's there, guess what? Max has been here. He's been through the wars. He's been through the fires for a long time.
And it really, it reinforces how much this front office values continuity.
Yeah.
Right? Could have made a big Soto deal at the trade deadline. We've talked about it a lot. But I think keeping that group intact, and I think you see that with this contract of, he's had a rough, 2020 was rough, 2022, but valuing continuity, prioritizing that, and trusting your guys that they're going to bounce back.
Great comment. Somebody said, these foos look like they're from Alhambra. And I just enjoyed that comment. Steven Cronin on Facebook, we'll leave it on this. We've talked about this before. Doug has a video coming out later this week or next week about this concept. But listen, extension out of nowhere with Blake Trinan, extension out of nowhere with Austin Barnes, now Max Muncy. What we need to see is a Trey Turner extension happen. We need to sign Double T, says Steven. Moving on, now's not the time. It's time to talk about the weekend recap, brought to you by GearUp.LA for all the latest merch and hot things that we're all not wearing from the GearUp.LA store. Check it out and go support us there by buying some merch. GearUp.LA. The Dodgers gut the fish. Teamwork. Eric and I coming up with that one. Convincing sweep of the Marlins. Hey, they even got to no Cy Young Award frontrunner Sandy Alcantara.
Sandy controversy.
They tanked him, crushed him. Thoughts? This really Marlins not a good team. That guy, very good pitcher. Not good against the Dodgers. We hear a lot about the struggles against big guys. The ace style, the elite pitchers. I want you to give me something heaty and meaty that we can cut and post on Instagram about the Dodgers and your thoughts on them versus elite pitching and what this start means, what the shelling.
I would rather see a righty in that Sandy controversy tier than a lefty. Like, Max Fried scares the shit out of me with the Dodgers. Like, when you see those big game lefties against the Dodgers, not that I think they're going to mow down DeGrom or Max Scherzer, but it seems like there's always at least one or two games, and maybe it just seems to me like it always ends up being Max Fried just because they played the Braves so much in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But they're those big game lefties that just absolutely neuter the Dodgers in the playoffs, and that is why I'd rather see a righty. I will take my odds against a power righty, even though Sandy controversy. He could end up being the Cy Young winner. He deserves it. All the stats are there. The counting stats are there.
Where are his wins at?
I'm pushing for Julio Urias, man. I'm calling the late Cy Young run, the Uri Ace, as Doug likes to say.
Hey, he keeps that ERA low and ends up at 20 wins again somehow.
Yeah,
because wins matter.
If you had me pick between a B+ lefty start in the playoffs versus a A-plus righty, like I would pick the righty against the Dodgers. I really would.
Hey, I switched to a Jim Beam.
Is that a high ball? Nice.
Yeah.
Was that HDNF for social media?
I wasn't paying attention. But yes, it was.
Yeah, I think.
Love Cody, check it out.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point. We talk about the
519.
lefties, and the Dodgers have struggled against lefties in the past, but they've improved a lot this season.
Yeah.
For me, just heading into this matchup, the one number I was looking at was that strikeout rate of Sandy Alcantara, who after the game said, I think they have a lot of stuff to look for something for pitchers. Almost hinting at something. I was calling him
controversy.
Some controversy. I was calling him Salty Alcantara because there's a little salty there, okay?
Ceviche Alcantara?
But I was looking at the
sorry.
fact that a 22.9 strikeout rate, that's 33rd in baseball. When the Dodgers get dominated, look how they performed against Brady Singer when he was hitting all the right notes against the Dodgers last Sunday. And Blake Snell in the 2020 World Series. You see, when they get dominated and they look overmatched at the plate with the swing and miss, that's when they really struggle. But with the strike zone awareness, I mean, they have more patience than Cedars-Sinai. And the fact that they can go at the plate and not expand the strike zone, they forced him to throw 27 pitches in that first inning.
Yeah.
Heading into this outing, he'd average 14.2 pitches per inning. So they're getting that pitch count up. And there's just no, I mean, it's been said before, there's just no holes in this lineup. I mean, the number 9 hitter, Cody Bellinger, he hits a bomb. Number 5 hitter, Max Muncy, he goes deep. And then we know the big 3. I think it's more of a fantastic 4 when you consider Will Smith in that mix. So
Needs
I just
more
think
love.
this lineup is just fantastic. And I think the difference is we knew how good Corey Seager was in the past, but Freddie Freeman is just so consistent at the plate. Bat to ball skills off the charts.
Absolutely different level of game plan with Freddie Freeman at the plate. He is he's a nightmare for any pitcher.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a perfect blend of new school and old school, I feel.
Yeah, if they're like mountain ranges, right? Like Seager is like these big peaks and valleys, where Freeman's just like this very nice level. It's like the Patagonia logo, you know, it's just at a nice height, it just kind of creeps along. But I do agree, Seager was very streaky, but when he was on, he was incredible. But I also think too, you talked about the bottom of the lineup. There is a reason the Dodgers got so freaking hot when Max Muncy started hitting, when it added that length to the lineup, when you have Trace Thompson chip in, you got Joey Gallo, who we'll get to down later in the show. But there's a reason that the Dodgers started just banking wins like Bank of America as soon as Max Muncy got hot.
Respect that. But when it comes to the Dodgers against elite pitching, I think that's one of the most encouraging developments that we've seen this season. The Dodgers, they're hitting over 320 against high-velocity pitchers this season, 98 miles per hour better. They got to Dylan Cease, Carlos Rodon, Logan Webb, Joe Musgrove, who basically turned Justin Turner's season around by saying he wasn't a threat, and then we'll see how their 2 seasons went. And then Darvish, Merrill Kelly. I mean, they've had success against the better arms around the league, and I just feel so much more confidence with just the top-end talent of this team. And up and down this lineup, they're just ferocious, man. The Blue World Order, the BWO, just suffocating their opponents into submission.
Big test coming up next week.
Yeah.
The Mets, they play the Mets. Dodgers go to New York, play 4, I think it is, against New York, or 3 against the Mets. I'm not sure what the numbers are, but you got to figure you're going to see one or many of DeGrom and Scherzer. And it is 3.
Yeah.
Unless
gonna be a
DeGrom's
test.
already injured again.
He got pushed back. But that's going to be a fun test, and that's going to be pretty important to see. Back into what happened over the weekend recap. You got to look at the big showing from Joey Gallo. He shows out in a big way, big weekend for the guy, big numbers overall since joining the Dodgers. And I just got to say it, the Dodgers already won this trade. I don't care what Clayton Beater becomes. They won this trade.
Just to add another bench bat, and I think that's why Doc was so excited. And this is pre-Gallo, but just like getting Trace Thompson, our bench is in such a better spot going into the playoffs this year. Now you have Gallo, you have Trace Thompson. I mean, they have guys that have proven that they can do it, and you're not rolling out. I mean, no disrespect, but they had Souza Jr. on the playoff roster last year. Like that guy, I'm sorry, that guy was 2 scoops ass, as some people would say in this office. But now they actually have like legit guys. But yeah, Gallo, a 1.38 OPS. Yeah, it's only 30 at bats, but he just looks comfortable, and just the way he's talking in the post games and all of that, like it's really easy to play well on this team. Like he hasn't said it as directly in the last couple of days, but it's pretty much like, yeah, playing on the Yankees was really, really, really tough for me. It's not very tough here.
It was immediately a bad relationship, and it got worse. And now he's at a point where he's in a clubhouse where he has a buddy like Hanser who won't leave him alone, apparently. Great video from Doug thrown together on our Dodgers Nation YouTube channel, because I think you did.
Joey, eating sugar. I give Hanser Alberto a lot of credit. And just like you mentioned, the overall chemistry.
And Joey, they bring a different chemistry.
They
Look,
do.
you guys know for 6 months, 5 months, whatever, how long, 4 months, 3 months, I'm just going to keep saying numbers until we get somewhere with it. I was a big-time Jake Lamb guy, but the bench was bad at that time.
Yeah.
Jake Lamb was an intriguing addition. He was not the answer. He's not Hanser, but he's Joey Gallo was the right call. Like, it sucked to see Jake Lamb leave, but guess what? He was not going to do what this guy's doing. You're talking about a 2-time All-Star. You're talking about a 2-time Gold Glove winner. You're talking about
all
a
on
dude.
display yesterday.
Yeah, and
It's one game, but it was all on
every
display
bit
on
of it
Sunday.
was there. He could have got, if he was hustling out of the box and he was pissed at himself, he could have got an inside the park home run on that deep fly ball that turned into a triple. But I mean, all the tools are there, and the fact that this is a guy that's batting 7th or 8th in your lineup to just extend and find different options anywhere up and down the lineup to just get on base, keep the line moving. It's a dangerous lineup. It's a scary lineup, and I would not want to be Max Scherzer or Jacob deGrom facing this team in the NLCS.
I mean, we should start calling him Galileo. He can really do it all.
Galileo. Okay. No, but yeah, we talk about Joey Gallo. I think you made a great point. All of his display yesterday, he was making diving catches, the outfield assists, hitting for power.
Gun show, power show.
And a 1038 OPS and 30.
Can actually run the bases.
Can run the bases.
Yeah. He's a pretty complete ball player. I mean, the average isn't always going to be as high as it is right now at 267, but that's not what he needs to do. 370 on base, that's good.
And if you look at the strikeouts, still 14 strikeouts and 30 at-bats, but the problem was in New York, you were seeing the strikeouts, but you weren't seeing the pop, right? You weren't seeing the pop. And, yeah, I think that we know at this point the magic is in the beard, okay? The magic is in his beard, and he's back and he's in a good situation where he doesn't have that pressure that he had in New York, and he's really thriving here in L.A. in his role. And I think that the better this goes for him, I really want to see him get more opportunities because, yeah, like you said, he has world-class light tower power, and he's a guy. Edwin Rios, you had your opportunity, you got injured, a hamstring fell off, and I think Joey Gallo's in great shape. He's a guy, like you mentioned, a multi-time All-Star. He's a year removed for a 140 WRC plus season, so I love what I'm seeing from Joey Gallo.
What does Andrew Friedman do best? He improves on the fringes during a season, and this was the move. You know, sure, in the short season in 20, Edwin Rios worked. I honestly might have felt more comfortable with Jacob Lamb over an Edwin Rios on the bench if it was a healthy situation. But instead, they said, you know what, F you, you're cool. You're going to come play with us. We're going to save you.
No,
Here's a beach house.
Yeah, no, exactly. He's like, it's kind of nice to see people walk around in flip-flops and sand.
Hey,
you know,
an important note about him. Joey, he unblocked his Instagram comments. So
hey man,
extend back.
Trey. How about extend Joey Gallo?
That's slowly rolled there, buddy.
I wouldn't rule that out. I mean, it just depends what kind of deal he's looking for. I mean, his value is still pretty damn low. I would think what it was 2 years ago. You also you can't underestimate too. The guy's now been on three. The guy's been on 3 teams in 2 years. He's bounced around a little bit.
I mean, if he shows out in the postseason, has a big moment, he'll be able to get a nice deal somewhere.
It's a stretch.
He's still
it's
really
accurate,
young, too.
But it's a stretch. He was a Ranger, and then he was a Yankee, and it was bad
He got traded
for
mid-season.
about a year.
Yeah. I'm just saying the midseason trade will screw you up. And it'll especially screw you up when you're playing in New York with just some really unreasonable fans.
Very toxic.
Finding a couple of comments here. Great one from our friend Carnivorous Lunar Activity saying D-Mac got hammered pretending to drink a highball. It's great.
You saw it yesterday?
Great comment.
Got to CGI that in. Drink responsible.
Getting torched. Our buddy Dong Kim in the stream. What's up, Clint D-Mac and EEULAU? Appreciate you, Dong, hanging out with us. We got more love from Carnivorous Lunar Activity. D-Mac is a wordsmith.
This is true.
Which is 100% accurate.
I promise I won't dab this episode.
Why not, man?
Yeah,
Someone screenshot it and send it to me. You know that?
Coward.
You got loyal fans, man.
We got
I
Anthony
appreciate
Keene
that.
with the bring back
Love these guys.
Sousa. How about let's go ahead and not do that. He's not only bad at baseball, he's bad at
retired.
life.
He's also retired.
My only thing with Souza was like, you're so good at impersonating all these great hitters. Why don't you just do one at the plate? Impersonate Mookie at the plate. Maybe you'll hit like him, right? But no on the Souza Palooza, I'm assuming. Yeah.
No on the Souza
yeah,
Palooza. We're not buying tickets on Eventbrite for that thing.
You're not okay.
Hashtag stay Eric.
Jenny Lowell is saying Gallo would take an offer from LA in a heartbeat. Yeah, I mean, you absolutely would, but it's, I don't think
It's tough to
it does
assess
not
his
behoove
market.
them. They don't need to do that yet.
Right, they can
why
wait.
would-
They don't need to extend him.
Yeah,
I'm just
no
saying,
reason to force that.
It smells like a 1+1 kind of deal this winter if he wants to come back on the cheap and compete, or he can go play for like the Orioles or some fringy team that just wants to spend money. So hey, look, we
Absolutely.
spent money on this 2-time All-Star.
Malik Munkett, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely
exactly.
bet on yourself deal. If he shows out, you'll sign a nice deal. He's still really young. I mean, he's 28 years old.
He's gonna look great on the River Cats.
Yeah.
Moving on a little
Joey,
bit,
Joey.
we got to talk about Dustin May. Came back, showed out, looked good. The fire was there already, both in fastball velo and in the show. The Dustin May show is back. To me, looked like legitness. And it looked like a really good problem to have for these Dodgers because, the next day you got Ryan Pepio having the best start of his career. And now he's optioned as of today. More on that because Brewstar's back. Pepio is out. But you look back to like a year ago where this roster was, where the starting rotation was. Dustin May's out. Trevor Bauer out. Clayton Kershaw, maybe he's going to come back and hopefully get enough starts and be okay by the postseason. But now instead, it's... You got 5 dudes. You got 6 dudes who could legitimately do it. You got Kershaw coming back in about a week. You got other options at the minor league level. You trade away Mitch White, who was having a pretty decent season as a swing guy. Then it was Walker, it was Julio, it was Max Scherzer, and that was it. Now you got legitimately 4 dudes you could run out in a game 1 and not feel bad about in a shorter postseason series with Julio, with Tony, with Tyler Anderson, with the Heen dog, maybe not there, but Dustin May definitely in that top 4 category. And guess what? Kershaw again coming back in a week.
The most important part is you have a safety net this year.
Yes.
There was no safety net. It was like, we got 3 dudes. We're going to figure it out. And then we're going to use Scherzer to close game 5. And then we're going to use Julio in a very really just.
Man, they messed that up.
Yeah, that was just reckless. That was the word I was looking for, how they use Julio. But they have contingency plans now. Because, let's be honest. Heaney's shoulder is a mess. He's made 7 starts this year. I'm not penciling Heaney in for anything.
Yeah.
But even if you take Heaney out of the equation, you think, okay, Kershaw, maybe only get 4 innings out of him, but to have a Tyler Anderson there. Tyler Anderson, in my mind, at least for the first series, is kind of the swing guy. Maybe he is the super reliever, whatever it may be. Piggyback with Gonsolin, however you want to do it. But I think Dustin May, too, could kind of pivot into that role as you get deeper into the playoffs as far as where he slots in, whether he is that Andrew Miller type or he is a dynamite starter. But it was all there for Dustin May, and it was incredible. It was well worth the wait for Dustin May.
I think it exceeded my expectations. I couldn't even sleep Saturday night. I was just so giddy thinking of Dustin May. We were talking about how they should, everyone should have a red balloon and then release it after his first pitch, like Pennywise and it. But yeah, it was Dustin May. It was Dustin Mayhem. And I think the most impressive thing was, first of all, the strikeouts. Struck out half of the batters he faced. You get a crazy amount of swing and miss, but 16 called strikes. I love the way he was paying the corner with that 2-seam fastball, striking that cutter. And I think the big difference, too, challenging hitters up in the zone with that 4-seam fastball. That was the real breakthrough that he had last season. We even saw a changeup from Dustin May. You mentioned the fire that he has. He looks like he wants this opportunity. Yeah. And I think that, the Dodgers are in a great spot with Dustin May because we're talking about a guy that has elite stuff that will play up in the postseason. And talking about the postseason rotation, yes, of course, it's the Urias at the top. I'm glad we're all on the same page. Took people a couple of years to get on that same page with the Urias right at the top. But then if it's a healthy Kershaw, you slot him as the number 2 guy. Then after that, it's very interesting because I think Tony Gonsolin's earned that right. Mm-hmm. And then Dustin May and Tyler Anderson. But remember, you've got those back-to-back games in the DS and the NLCS. So depth is going to be a factor this season more than ever with that additional wild card team.
And the Dodgers are going to possibly and probably be the best equipped team to handle this newer format of postseason because most people only have a 3-headed-ish monster. As the Dodgers have legitimately 5, 6 if they really want deep they can run out there.
It's an embarrassment of pitches like we saw in the 2020 World Series when the Dodgers were down 3-1, but you had all those consecutive games and you could just felt like they just couldn't take all those punches, the Braves, because they just kept throwing fresh arms out there. And I think on top of everything else, with the cushion they have in the division to put guys in spots where they're going to have a lot left in the tank. And you said you wouldn't buy tickets to Sousapalooza, but I know you'd buy tickets to Dustin Mania, right?
I already got my tickets.
Got your tickets?
I'm in the Sahara tent for Dustin Mania.
They like to call it we like to call
When he
it.
left out.
I thought he missed you. That's why.
Oh no,
Because he was like,
I've never missed Doug in my life.
the Dodgers like to call it optionality, and they are flush with it with 42 games, including today, left. So this is that final stretch. This is that final push. You're going to learn a lot about this team. They are going to learn a lot about themselves, and they're going to learn what arms do they really want in there, because there are some key arms not too far behind us, or not too far away from potentially joining the active roster, or at least being close to the active roster. And note, you don't get to call up your full 40-man roster anymore. Those days are gone. They get to add 2 dudes in September, and those 2 have already been claimed, according to Dave Roberts. More on that in a second. Seeing a few comments in here, so we're going to address it. There's a Brook situation that he's unfortunately dealing with. We're not going to talk on it. There are sides. There are always going to be sides to everybody's story, and everybody has their right to share their side. We're not going to share anything for his side. Keep an eye out for what is coming from Brook, but we support him. We support truth, and we support people being happy and healthy and not harmed in any way. And that's all I'm going to say on that one. On the more positive things, if that was anything. Giveaway winner we mentioned last week. We're giving away a $250 Fanatics gift card. The winner of that fine gift card is Felicity O'Reilly. We will be reaching out to you on the internet. Felicity O'Reilly, you have won a $250 Fanatics gift card, so that's pretty cool for you. We're going to be announcing a new giveaway tomorrow, so stay tuned to DodgersNation.com. Go to DodgersNation.com/giveaways.
Hit it. Do it.
.com.
And that will be out there in the morning. But moving on, huge injury updates we got to talk about, and there's general roster talk that comes with it. The boys are getting healthier and healthier, and we're already seeing that today ahead of game time on Monday. Brusdar Gratterall is back. Ryan Pepio has been optioned to AAA, and chances are it's the end of the line for Ryan because of the new options law in Major League Baseball.
Five per year, right?
But that's big, man. That is a huge addition, because you also really got to see, hey, is Brusdar your best of 13 guys, arms in the bullpen?
I don't
probably.
I really don't want to see him closing.
No,
in
no,
October.
no. He's
Oh,
not,
is he one of the 13 best?
Yeah,
of course.
He's not
for
the
sure.
best, but he's going to be one of those guys. I mean, is it going to be him? Because again, at some point, it's him. Heaney needs a spot. What are you going to do with him? Phil Bickford, is he going to need a spot?
Yeah,
I'll go back my word. Like Bickford's not going to make it in the October roster.
By the way,
It's picked it up a little
over his
though.
last
Trending in the right
14
direction.
games,
It's not as bad as he was.
I think it's like a 1.9 ERA or something like that over his last 14 games. So he's been on a tear.
The home run ball.
He just needs to be a DJ.
You just can't be giving up.
home
you
run
just can't be
ball
giving up Don
concerning.
Kims in the playoffs. Like,
BP Bickford, man. On some of those
like
home run balls, but
I love my Bick. Like he's my guy, but the home run rate is just.
He's going to be on the taxi squad. He's going to be a guy who's there, who's
8
around,
bombs
who's
and-
available.
8 bombs in 45 and a third. So, yeah, I think Brusdar Gratterall, when you look at the stuff he has, the way he contributed in 2020, strikeouts are up a little bit, walks are down a little bit, and he had a 0 ERA in the month of July, was really turning the corner. I think he's done a better job just at least trying to continue to develop those secondary pitches, and he's going to go out there and throw strikes. He does not miss the zone, and sometimes that leads to contact with Brusdar Gratterall, but I think a guy with that type of talent, if he's healthy, you don't leave triple-digit heat like that induces soft contact. And yes, it's not about missing bats with Brusdar Gratterall, but I definitely think that he's the guy that you want in your pen. I don't want to see him closing games either, especially with Blake Trinan coming back, and we'll see if Craig crumbles and how that works out, but I definitely think he's a dude for this bullpen.
Well, I think the one of the best Dodgers highlights we've seen in the last couple of years is Bellinger's catch in the 2020 NLDS against the Padres. But if that ball goes over the wall, you know how Dodgers fans react to relief pitchers that screw up in the playoffs. Like Gratterall's name would be mud if that catch didn't
That's a
happen.
really good point.
Yeah,
Like
he would be the new Pedro Baez.
He would be Pedro
Josh Fields.
He'd be Pedro Baez. He'd be Josh Fields. Shout out to Jordan Alvarez.
Yeah, I love that too.
Shout out to
when he's
O'Neal
like,
Cruz.
That was one of my favorite moments. Like when Brewer's like, "Vamos!"
Yeah.
And then Machado's like, "Oh, wait for you. I'm gonna wait for you." And he's like, blows him the kiss.
Weren't they staying at the same hotel? Anyway, kind of ditto
In the
for
lobby.
we've been so happy about Evan Phillips, and I love that Trace Thompson catch on Friday night. But being the pessimist that I am, like, man, if he misses that ball and it goes over the fence, like,
It wasn't going to go over the fence, but still, yeah, that would have been a tough situation.
yeah, would have been a little little ding in the armor there for Evan Phillips.
Another option, Blake Trinan. He's had 3 outings, 3 scoreless outings, 3 or 4 scoreless outings in AAA. I forget the numbers. I didn't take the time to look at him today because who cares that much about the numbers? The important number you got to have circled, September 1st, because 1 is a number, and apparently, if all goes according to plan, he has 1 more outing. I think 1 more outing or a few more outings. Anyways, he's 1 more week, and then they're going to add him as part of the rosters expanding on September 1. That's what Dave said yesterday after the game or before the game.
Threw a bullpen today,
as did Clayton Kershaw, another guy they say is going to be back on the roster September 1st. No minor league rehab assignment. He's just going to go back out there. It's Kersh. I trust him enough.
Yeah, I think that's so awesome that they just trust him to do that. There's probably not another pitcher, like a starter, they would just let, like, yeah, you know what? He's like, yeah, you kind of want you to minor league rehab. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. And they're like, yeah, no problem. We'll see you September 1st. Like, there's very few pitchers that have that runway with an organization, especially like you can tell that Friedman and Dave Roberts have their process with injuries and how they talk about them and how they plan them and how they forecast them. Kershaw gets special treatment. He should. He deserves it. But it's definitely it's interesting compared to some other starting pitchers.
Sometimes you just get
him.
that luxury. It's like Kobe out there shooting with the left hand after he tears the rotator cuff. You know, like sometimes if you made it to that level, they're going to question you. I just think, too, Kershaw knows his body and his work ethic, and he's just been throwing some very intense bullpen sessions. So I think he's ready to go. I think this is more just about load management for Clayton Kershaw at the end of the day. It's just trying to keep him as healthy as he can. So
he could pitch at AAA and build up, or he can pitch 3 or 4 innings and build up, and then you could bring in the other dudes to piggyback behind him.
Yeah.
It's the same damn thing.
I'm
He's
curious-
not going to learn anything about his pitches and about his game
Yeah, great point.
against minor league pitching anymore. Or hitting anymore. He's fine. He's good. Homeboy gets to go home when he wants, when they're on a central road trip, a central U.S. road trip, and he's like, hey, I'm going to go home for a bit. And they're like, yes, sir.
Well, it's normal, right? Like if well, it's a bad example because he's from Orange County, but I don't know. If Max Muncy just flew home to Texas, it would be like, hey, that's kind of weird. Like, that'd be really big news. I mean, the Kershaw thing was news, but he does it so routinely now. He's probably one of the few superstars that can just, like, fly back home. I mean, Tatis does it because he got suspended because he cheated. But anyway, he's one of the few superstars that can just fly back home, and it's like, yeah, he's allowed to do that.
I mean, when you get a
Franchise pitcher.
statue at the stadium, you know.
Oh, yeah, I'm not against it at all.
Two,
Yeah.
No, I know.
two massive additions though with Trinan and Kershaw. Kershaw, we feel pretty confident about. Blake Trinan, we haven't seen since 5 games into the season. We don't know what he's going to look like. We don't know how bad that injury is. If his shoulder's going to hold up. If the turbo sinker is going to be the same.
My only memory is Blackman beating us off of Trinan. It was like, I think that was his last. It was like his second to last appearance this year.
Yeah, I think, and then Wong hit that home run.
Yeah, sorry, not Colton Wong.
Colton Wong.
Connor Wong.
Connor Wong.
Connor
I
Wong.
bet. Is it Colton Wong?
Yeah.
But yeah, when Wong hit that home run, but
Sorry, I dragged us down in the mud.
2 Wongs.
Don't make a right.
Yes, thank you.
like it.
We got it. We did it.
Other massive news
That was a
of
wrong answer.
horrible of high unimportance. Danny Duffy is not dead.
Dude, so
Dave just trashed him.
you know I'm big on this. Like, Dave Roberts is either naive or just completely misleads people with injuries. And I think the Dodgers franchise kind of does it too. You have the Joe Kelly, like,
think?
his body's not feeling good. You have
All
Max
over bodyitis,
Muncy.
yeah.
They just wait like a week to announce his elbow. There's another one in there I'm missing, but this just goes right in the greatest hits of misinformation about injury updates about players. Like, oh, Danny Duffy's feeling sore, he's probably done. And it's like, oh yeah, Danny, it was just normal soreness. It's like, did you not read the whole text?
The funny thing is the same thing happened last year with Brandon Morrow. They signed him. Nobody saw anything with him. Yeah. And they're like, oh, yeah, he's done. He's gone home. I don't think we're going to see him again. And then he's pitching that weekend at the
Rancho?
At
Arizona?
Yeah. Camelback. He's pitching that weekend at Camelback. They see him there. He's throwing off a mound. They're like, hey, what's up with that? And I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Didn't someone follow up with Dave and ask him about it? And he was just like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, Dave
it's
at
just
least
funny how he
kind of backtracked on.
I mean, he straight up said he was unlikely to pitch again. You know?
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what he said. Yeah. And then he was like, well, he had arm soreness, and it sounded real bad, but I guess it was just general arm soreness. So,
I mean,
so you just buried his career.
General arm soreness.
Yes.
I mean, at this point, at least for Dodger fans, they should go Tupac style at Coachella and just put a hologram of Danny Duffy on the mound, just so we can see Danny Duffy. Because to me, at this point, I think Monte Teo's girlfriend is realer than Danny Duffy. Right? He's the Loch Ness monster. He's Bigfoot. We haven't seen him on the mound. And I think, but really, the reality is, before he went down. We started the season with Kansas City. He was really good. He's another guy and gave you multiple innings of relief too. So we saw the plan they had for Tyler Anderson early in the season. If he's healthy, you've heard people talk about how he's looked in the Arizona Complex League. Struggled with command a little bit, hitting batters. You see some walks. So you just wonder how long it'll take for him to really ramp himself up to where he can actually help this team.
Yeah, notably, he threw. I don't know how many pitches. He threw 93 miles an hour, and that's all we know. It was just a side session. You know, it's not a minor league rehab. It's not anything yet. At this point in the season, I don't know how much effort or time you really put into trying to get him right, because it feels like you got other better options right there in the wings. And they got a couple other intriguing options right behind him here on our list, because Victor Gonzalez is now set to go out on a rehab assignment. You guys remember him? Because he's a guy who's alive. He had a little elbow procedure earlier this year, but I don't know where he fits on the roster. I don't know where Danny Duffy fits on the roster. Tommy Kahnle is throwing again. He's hitting 97. I don't know where he fits on any roster.
Kahnle's not happening. That's the one I feel the strongest about.
Right, my man.
I know. It took me to my last live stream. I usually say Conley and Craig Kimbrell, which is really just an homage to John Miller of the Giants radio. But anyway, I'm not buying the Kahnle thing. I'm really not. Or neither with Duffy.
Should have made this a buy or sell.
Yeah, or rank them in order of how they're going to come back. But I
feel like I'm buying Kahnle more than I am. Just because
I'm not buying Duffy either.
Where does he fit? Yeah, Duffy, no. There's not even a reason. It's get him.
He's Chase Daniel. He's He's a lifetime backup quarterback. He's never had to pitch.
Just ask Carnivorous Lunar Activity. He goes hard on Danny Duffy.
We should build the statue, though. I think we need a Danny Duffy statue in if there's any bathrooms at Dodger Stadium that still have a trough, there needs to be a Danny Duffy statue outside of it. Of those three names, though, Duffy, Victor, and Tommy Kahnle is probably the only one that makes any sort of sense to potentially. I mean, Victor's a lefty, nasty wipeout slider. That's something nice to have out of the bullpen. But you got Vesia, he served up a solo home run in a blowout game. But you got David Price, who's been on a tear. I don't know if you really need a Victor Gonzalez right now.
Yeah, they also just have such a track record of betting on veteran relievers like Kahnle. Yeah. If it was Victor Gonzalez or Kahnle, I can see Friedman looking at his 17 screens with all these spreadsheets up and being like, I really like Kahnle. I just don't think, because also Victor was kind of rough last year.
Yeah, it was not anywhere
and he hasn't
near
pitched
as good
all this year. I mean, I know Kahnle hasn't either, but if you made me pick one of the two is going to be on the playoff roster, Victor Gonzalez or Kahnle, I think it is going to be Kahnle, but like you said, I mean, it's nice to have a ton of options. We even mentioned Caleb Ferguson as another lefty. I think Caleb Ferguson may actually be in that Victor Gonzalez spot as far as hey, you're our second or third level lefty matchup guy. He's pitching great. We have to put this guy in the playoff roster. You probably don't add on Victor Gonzalez on top of all of that.
Yeah, Victor has nastier stuff, but he also has more of the tendency to get the walk, as where Caleb's just coming in and just hit it. Yeah, old Haas is coming in and just hit it and drop that curve on him. Yancy Almonte is going to be another guy who's going to be back soon enough.
Yancy Almonte. Just the romanticism too with Victor Gonzalez, like part of the 2020 championship team,
it's-
pitched in
it's
4 World
nice.
Series
Guess what?
games.
There's a whole 2023 where we're gonna need arms.
Tommy Kahnle, 2.33 postseason ERA, a .76 WHIP. So
I personally, I take Phil Bickford over Tommy Kahnle any day because I trust this dude. He's been healthy all year. We know.
Well, I didn't know the Bick was an option. I would have picked my guy.
Well, I mean, we gotta where do these guys fit? All right, I'll ask you guys this.
Definitely
then.
adds up quick.
And guys, go ahead and feel free to play along here. Who has the bigger chance of making an impact of those dudes mentioned above? Duffy, Gonzalez, or Kahnle? Who has the better option, or who has a bigger chance of making that impact, or making any impact, a big enough impact on this team in a month to be on the postseason roster? Anybody?
I would say Tommy Kahnle if he's healthy. I mean, he was hit at 97, that changeup, postseason experience. They didn't sign him. I mean, they signed him knowing he was going to miss all the 2021 season. This year, one game he gave those home runs against the Pirates. Other than that, we saw some filthy stuff. Remember spring training against the Angels?
2 games.
I think he pitched in, I want to say three games.
2 or 3, 4, whatever it was.
Yeah,
I think he had 4 innings.
But really had one really bad game.
Yeah.
Save for that, and he just wasn't feeling
That's
right.
That's Eric's favorite thing. It's like, you
Yeah.
just get rid of all of his bad starts. He's having a good year.
I mean,
My
when
brother
we-
invalidated that take, which is pretty rough. He's like getting a master's in data science. He's like, they're just throwing out the outliers. It's actually pretty standard practice. And I was just like, man, that's like a big take of mine. That's a hill I've died on. And I was like, yeah, I just got.
When he's
I just got
on-
Can you
told.
ask him about wins?
Oh, he hates wins. My brother just gets like frothing at the mouth, angry about wins.
So he's appeared in 4 games, gave those 2 home runs against the Pirates.
You can write off the whole Pirate series for the whole Dodgers team. Okay,
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Pirate series, it never happened.
doesn't count.
It's dead. There, we wrote it off. We took out his worst outcome to make the stats better.
Hey, well, in that case, that works in my
If
favor.
you pick this arbitrary date, this player is hitting good.
What do you guys like more in a reliever? Do you like a low ERA, or do you prefer more scoreless outings? Because you can have, somebody can have like a 5 ERA, but be unscored on in 30 of 31 outings. But if they gave up 8 runs in one outing, well, there's your ERA.
I mean, I think it just depends when you're putting together a postseason bullpen.
Terrible numbers I put
You
together
want to
then.
put together a bullpen that has different looks, a dynamic bullpen, guys that can go out
Optionality?
there. Optionality, if you want to call it
compete?
that way. They have the compete. And I think you really want to go
fingers?
guys that have the best stuff. We saw against the Atlanta Braves last season, Dodgers look outmatched at times. And these games have increasingly become in the postseason a battle of the bullpens. And if you got guys that go out there in big, high leverage spots and get you key outs, and they can pitch well with runners on base, that changes the outlook of the game. And that's when you talk about the offense that this Dodgers team has. If you see anything close to, of course, 5 runs per game, like 5.3 that they're averaging now, if you see this offense perform like they are in the regular season, in the postseason, they're going to be in a good spot when you look at the relievers they have now. But I think, to me, Phil Bickford, the issue I have is, like you mentioned, the home runs. Sometimes his stuff is almost so filthy you see it leak into the heart of the plate, and it almost like it seems like he doesn't have that command. I definitely, we're getting late in the year, and Phil Bickford has looked better of late, and he's a guy. I mean, you saw him pitch 2 innings on Friday against the Marlins, but
He's getting the opportunities to prove himself, which shows you they're like he's part of the decision making. Like they're still kind of on the fence because they are putting him in some games. So he probably doesn't need to be in there, but it's like, hey, Bick. Show us what you can do here, kid.
Show me what you got.
Show me what you've got. I will straddle the fence on your question. I would rather have like.
Thank you, because I didn't get an answer out of him, I think.
I would prefer. I want to look at like their last. I would rather look at their last. Like, what is their last 20 appearances, 10 appearances going into the playoffs? Like, Joe Kelly made an entire career off of getting hot in 1 October.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, if you look at the whole
ton of money out of that. Yeah.
I don't even think his ERA was that great this year. I'm sure Doug's going to look it up because he always brings his facts to the fight.
Bring in the facts.
But I want to know who's trending up. Like, I want to know, like, we've seen runs like this, the 88 Cardinals, blah, 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 but it happens all with bullpens. Like, which guys are hitting October who maybe if you look at their total season ERA, you're like, oh, it's not a very good reliever. But all of a sudden, it's like, oh, he actually has like a 1.2 in his last 10 appearances.
Well, I mean, just looking at how we talk about
Tyler
DP on
Matzik.
this show all of a sudden. Yeah, there's in that sack, but also we're not afraid of David Price entering the game anymore because he's actually been good. Again, Bickford, we're talking less about him because he's been good. I agree with that. It's about what you've done for me lately.
I mean, for me, I think like when you lose ERA to evaluate a bullpen piece, it's a little overblown. You don't really focus too much on that. But I think when you talk about guys that come in and keep guys off the bases, you want guys to walk guys, you want guys to get the punch outs because then you don't want to have the ball put in play And to me, what I mean, you look at FIP, you look at some other statistics like that, but I think, like you mentioned, the life of a reliever is very volatile, and guys, sometimes at the beginning of the year, they're hot, and then they fall off. I think Yency Almonte, he was starting to hit a little bit of a dip before he was injured, and I was starting to wonder, is he going to be that high-leverage guy for the Dodgers in the postseason? But as long as you guys got I think what they built this bullpen around this season is that high-end stuff. And they discovered Evan Phillips, a guy that has that filthy slider, filthy Phil, the fireman Phil.
Screwdriver.
The whip, the ability to get outs and not allow base runners, that's pretty big. We got a couple people out talking about that carnivorous lunar activity. For relievers, first stat I look at is the walks and Ks. Sarah Morris, a friend, saying, I want no walks. That's big.
For me, I just want them to not be Josh Hader, really, at the end of the day.
He's got family issues. Hey, Tommy Canely, Craig Kimbrell. Who you got? You don't know what you got, but you know what you got in Kimbrell.
Kimbrell.
I still got Kimbrell, yeah.
Because no, you said it though. Like you said the answer in the question. Like at least I know I can like. It's like, I used to own the world's worst dog, and I love him. But he was a handful. But I knew how to, kind of mitigate things that I knew could happen. So with Kimbrell, it's like, I know if I'm Dave Roberts, I can put him in the 6th or the 7th, put him to face the 6, 7, 8 guys, put him against guys who swing at everything so he can't walk them. I kind of know what I'm getting. With Canely, I don't know what I'm getting with him. I'd rather deal with the devil I know.
Yeah, when health is a factor, it's tough to really make that call. But I do think there is enough time to where we can see and assess Canely. And if he looks good, I mean, if that changeup is filthy and the velo's sitting around 97, 98 miles per hour, he has a track record in the postseason that some of these guys just don't have. So he's a guy that they made that move for this year. And this organization, this front office would see it as an L if he didn't contribute at all whatsoever. But the same token, they trade away A.J. Pollock to get Craig Kimbrell. But at the end of the day...
They traded Jordan Alvarez away too, so... It's my last podcast.
Adrian Martinez.
He's never going to let that one go. Hey, it's optionality. It's a lot of good problems to have.
What about you? You never answered your own question.
Nobody asked.
Well, I'm asking.
Rhetorical.
You can't not go with Kimbrell just because you know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And that means something. He's... Despite all the struggles, he still has, some saves. He can still get some outs. They just need to continue to try to straighten some things out. When he, like Dave likes to talk about, when he starts getting too rotational, then things just go bad. And his curveball is terrible when he gets too rotational because you could read it. It's like my office baseball curveball against him tanks every day because you can see it coming. You know when it's coming from Craig Kimbrell. And if he doesn't have... if he has one of the flattest softballs right now in the game, that you know exactly where the hell it's going to go, and they can just tank it. Or again, rotational. He's hooking the ball. He's leaving the ball to his glove side a whole bunch. Walking dudes, you don't like that, but guess what? He could be on the roster. He can still get some outs in the 6th inning. He doesn't need to be the guy in the 9th inning because calendar turns to October plus 6 days.
Plus 6 games against the Rockies, which is just bizarre.
Stupid schedule.
I mean, did you guys make anything of Kimbrell pitching last night in a 7-1 versus yesterday on Sunday in a 7-run game?
I mean, I don't think it was. Yeah, I think he's a guy that has said multiple times he likes the consistency.
It ain't much, but it's honest work.
He likes the routine, and the game was Kimbrell proofed when you look at the score of the game. So
don't bring him in
if he lost that game.
Oh my God!
He gave us some home runs.
I'm pretty sure people would have stormed the field.
Yeah, it would have been pretty ugly.
Guys, look ahead. Before we get out of here, the look ahead is brought to you by the Dodgers Nation app. Download on the iOS or Android store now. If you like baseball and you like Dodgers baseball, go into your phone hole, download the app. It's pretty cool. Breaking news before we get into the look ahead. Reyes Maranta, our beloved burrito, has just been claimed off waivers by the Diamondbacks.
Oh, I was going to say Giants.
No, I don't think he's going back
Forehand
there.
just, ooh.
Yes, he's come to me, my burrito.
He used to be on the Dodgers, huh?
Anyway.
The Diamondbacks, that's going to be rough.
That's definitely going to be a rough one.
That smells like I'll be bored and I'll google and be like, I wonder what Reyes Moranta's doing. And the ERA is going to start with the number 7.
Yeah. I could very much see that. So last week we did a 2-week look ahead of the 13 games they're playing
I'm not
against
looking good.
The Brewers and the Marlins. What was your record?
I have an 8-6.
Yeah.
The Brewers just weird me out.
I say 7-7 because I did not feel good about this stretch.
No,
Where they
you
at?
said 7-7 because you just bought a handle of Seagrams and you're going to make 7-7.
Listen.
No, I'm bailing you out because you didn't actually think they were going to go 500 on this thing.
I kind of would not have been surprised though, because they were coming off an ugly loss, that ugly loss against KC. They got shut out.
So they 5-2?
They find a way.
Yeah, they really went out on a low note.
Were they at
against
5-2?
KC and Singer. Yeah, they're 5-2.
I said
I'm still in the realm of possibility here.
I said they win 10 of 14.
Yeah,
I also said they split against the Brewers too. Hit that one.
Yeah, we saw it on
guys with
Twitter.
the
We
lottery
saw
numbers?
your victory lap on Twitter. We all did. When you were busy sideswiping my takes on Twitter on your post game,
no
then
one
you just
sideswiped your
takes? Throwing your weight
I
around.
worship you, man. Hashtag stay Eric, guys. Drop some of those down below. You want to see this guy leave a baseball savant?
I got domain names taken.
Is it?
Yeah.
Eric the baseball savant. Is that one? Go to
The
GoDaddy.com.
baseball Eric Vaunt.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand behind my 7-7 just so I can get blasted on something, because it still in the very not very strong realm of possibility, but it is possible.
I think
Anything is possible, kids. Don't let your dreams be dreams.
I'm hoping they win the series like kind of handle against the Brewers. Like weird that stadium, Hitters Ballpark. It just Chris Taylor. He owns part of that stadium, which I appreciate. It's good to have real estate. Always appreciates in value. They're going to play better at home against the Brewers. I've just never enjoyed watching them play in that ballpark. I just don't think it plays to all their strengths. It's like kind of I don't know. It just weirds me out. I don't really have a ton of like statistical information about it. It just weirds me out. It always will since the 2018 NLCS. But I think they're going to take 2 or 3.
They got lucky.
They got so lucky in that NLCS. That was
deep
wild.
pull.
Thank God for Chris Taylor.
Yeah, thank God. Deep pull kids.
And Bellinger had a nice catching game too. But anyway.
They've also played around
He's been
500
on, too.
ball against the Marlins since 2018. We saw last season they struggled against the Miami Marlins before
It's
after the
two
break.
teams they should beat that they'll find a way to lose against. That's what
That
I
was an
kinda
early
felt.
season narrative,
Yeah.
right? After the Pirates debacle at home, it was like
They've done that for years, though.
they can't beat good teams, and now all of a sudden they're just crushing the bad teams. Like
Yeah.
the Marlins was like a take out the trash.
And to be fair, the Brewers are kind of pretty good.
They've been scuffly since like July 1. They've been kind of meh.
Meh.
But they're still in the wild card hunt. The best part
Solid
is when we
analysis.
play the
Milwaukee.
When we play the Brewers, no, they had like the 14th best record since July 1 the last time I looked at it, which was before the last week's series started, which is when Bellinger got benched in. I don't know why I didn't mention that, but it was in my brain. Anyway, the best part is Padres fans get to root for the Dodgers when they're playing the Brewers. So, welcome back.
Welcome back. Da, 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 da. That's all I got.
Was that your bumper music?
Yeah.
Now
Guys, here's our
Swifty
final
with a
thoughts before we
jam.
get out of here. It's about an hour before first pitch here on Monday. So it's time for the final thoughts presented by Booze. I don't have my cup today, but usually I like to have final thoughts with a smooth Hornitos Paloma, because I know that's what I'm going to get the next time I get out the Dodger Stadium, because it is quite a tasty beverage. But in lieu of a final thought of my own, I'm going to give the floor here to Mr. EULAU here in his final show. You got any parting gifts? Final Blue Heaven show. He's still going to be on Designated Twitter this week, still going to be on the round table this week, and then we're all going to cry together. You got any final thoughts here on you get to be a part of your number 1 Spotify show or number 2 Spotify show? You have some fun doing this, at least a little?
Absolutely. Yeah, I love doing this show. Always was very thankful you guys let me get on and be a part of it.
When Doug allowed you on?
Yeah, when Doug didn't kick me off. But no, this is kind of the dream as far as if you're a Dodgers fan getting to do this with a great website, with a great team, great channel, great fans. I think that's really what makes it all worth it. So yeah, I had a blast. I'm gonna miss doing this with you guys. Miss chatting Dodgers, even on camera, off camera, all the little things, all the dumb jokes we say in between. That thank God the cameras aren't rolling.
So many dumb jokes.
But no, man, it's been an absolute blast, and I'll miss you guys. I'll miss the fans. But the cool thing is, I know where to find you guys.
Yeah,
YouTube.com/DodgersNationTV.
We had a lot of fun doing dumb jokes and making new inside jokes with you over the season. Sucks you're leaving before the playoff run, but you know what? There's still plenty of time.
There's still some guest appearances to be had.
No, this
Never
is
say never. Okay, fair enough.
Right out of
It's
the
not over yet, man.
Right out of the
You never know.
Rolodex. Yeah, I'm pretty sure like on Wednesday he's just gonna grab you by the ankles.
I hope I'm gonna be like Susan Waldman and Roger Clemens is in George Steinbrenner's box. He's back.
But
this is the craziest thing.
No, it's been great. It's been great.
Cheers to you, sir. Good times had
Cheers
here.
to you guys.
On the program. So as we wrap the show, as one final shots, may the Dodgers stay healthy and win all the games. May you guys stay healthy and happy and go enjoy yourself a fine Hornitos with your friends like I plan on doing at the ballpark the next time I'm in here. Cody's in the stream saying, I'm a cry. Cody, we miss you too in here. We will see you Wednesday on the show. Guys, until we are back here, find us on the internet at DodgersNation.com. Subscribe to the Blue Heaven podcast on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, everywhere your podcasts are available for free. We live there. We'd appreciate it if you can go and leave a 19-star review. Leave a great, rating, and then the other one is a review. Subscribe to youtube.com/DodgersNationTV. Hit the bell, hit the like, leave a comment. Go watch all of Doug's stuff right now, because it'll help you out. My name is Clint. You can find me as RealFRG on Twitter and Instagram. That guy is DMac_LA. I don't think he goes by Doug anymore. I think he's exclusively DMac_. It's in the driver's license.
Yeah.
Like DMAC merch.
Eric Eulau, Mr. EEULAU. In the flesh one last time here on the Blue Heaven podcast thing until the next time he happens to be around. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We will see you next Monday for some more Blue Haven.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.